So, since it's Christmas, I've decided to do a 7 day of Christmas movie review challenge starting on the 18th, from the 18th until Christmas. I'm also going to do two Christmas short stories as well. Um so I chose two from Netflix, two from Prime Video, two from Tubi, and one from Peacock. Um that I'm going to watch and I'm going to review, and I'm going to review them just like how I do my Love is Blind review, like my real-time reaction while I'm watching it. So I'll watch a couple of minutes and then I tell y'all how I feel about what I just watched. Okay, y'all know how it goes. I've also decided that I'm going to review The Ultimatum and Married at First Sight. Um I think Married at First Sight came on. The first episode came on today. I got to catch up on The Ultimatum. I watched two episodes. I got to get through the other. You belong on every ground your feet grace, so don't ever feel out of place. Take up space and belong. This earth is your birthplace. Got to get through the other. But to start off this challenge, I'm watching Meet Me Next Christmas on Netflix, starring Christian Milian and I think Duval. I forgot his last name or whatever. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Zach from Sisters, the Tyler Perry TV show. Him. So it starts off with her in this store on Christmas, bumping into this guy who is Duval, Zach from Sisters, him, and just like having just a quick little interaction with him. He ended up dropping something that he was buying as a last minute Christmas gift for somebody. Um and he picked one of the things up, and one of them ended up, I think, in her pocketbook, which she later found. Um and he just apologized for bumping into her, and they went their separate ways. So she goes to the airport and ends up meeting this other guy who is Kofi Saribe. I forgot. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Fine chocolate. Him. Also, I'm not used to seeing Christina Milian on the screen with black guys. Like, yeah, she did Love Don't Cause a Thing with Nick Cannon and maybe a few other movies, but usually you see her with white men, or like mixed or racially ambiguous looking men. I'm not used to seeing her with like, and she got two black men on this movie, so I'm like, okay, I gotta watch that. But she's at the airport. She ends up meeting this guy. They end up forming this connection, this like natural connection that you usually don't form with a stranger. So his flight is about to board, and he tells her bye at first, but then when he goes to walk away, I guess he kind of feels like, dang, I don't want to leave because I had this amazing connection with this woman that I don't know, but I'm intrigued. So he goes back over to her and he tells her, hypothetically, if she were to break up with her boyfriend in the next year, because it's Christmas Eve when they meet, um they should meet each other at a Pentatonix concert. um Basically, we had a good connection. Like, I want to see where this can go between us, but you got a boyfriend. But let's just say you lose that boyfriend by the time for next Christmas. Let's meet at the Pentatonix concert, and you know we can see where things go from there. And she's like, I got a boyfriend. Like, I'm not wishing for the demise of my relationship or whatever. And then he like, well, let's just say maybe. And she like, okay, I'll give you a maybe. So she leaves. That scene goes off, and I think it fast forwards to next Christmas. and she's at the office talking to one of her friends about like going home and getting her boyfriend his favorite whatever. She goes to her house, walks in, immediately sees him cheating with another girl a few days before Christmas. She is heartbroken or whatever. Her and her friend are talking, and then she remembers that this guy made this like pact with her. And now I'm single for Christmas. However, I have the option of meeting up with this person who could be my soulmate. So she goes on um but the thing is she didn't buy the tickets this year because her boyfriend wanted to go somewhere else. So her friend and her go on on the websites and look for tickets and they're sold out. However, she sees the guy and she sees him with a ticket on the website. You know how sometimes for like shows and stuff where they'll have like pictures of people who've been there before. It was like that. Because at first her friend is like, you never know. He probably like got a wife and pregnant. She pregnant and whatever. And then she come across the picture. She like, look, this is him. He got the ticket. So he doesn't have a wife. Like he remembers, and like now they're trying to find tickets for her, but they're not able to. Somebody, they tried to sell the tickets to somebody for 2,500, but they want for 1,000. So like she out of luck. But then her friend remembers like personal concierge services, and she's like, we have to let's try that to see if they have a ticket for you. So Layla friend puts her onto this concierge service where Teddy, who is played by Duvall, works. So his boss calls him into her office, and she's telling him like, I like you, you're a good person, and it's in some food that he made her. I can't even remember the name of it, but she was like, you suck as a concierge, and this is and she tells him that a client is waiting in his office. His reviews suck, and this is his make or break situation. If you are able to find her these tickets and you can get a good review from her, I will let you keep your job. But if you're not, I'm gonna have to let you go. So his whole job is riding on getting her these tickets. So he goes to his office and she's sitting there waiting for him. And he sees her and he's like, I know you from somewhere, basically. And he's trying to figure out where he knows her from, but he can't think of it at the moment. But it bothers him because he's like, I never forget a face or whatever. She doesn't remember him from when they had bumped into each other. She didn't even budge when she saw him. But so she tells him that she needs tickets and that her romantic life is banking on these tickets. And so he sits down at his computer and he goes to the database to check and see if he can find somebody with the tickets, but he can't. And she like, why does it sound like you weren't able to find tickets? And he like, cause I can't. And she was like, but you're a concierge, like this is what you do, you're supposed to be able to do this. He's like, don't worry, I know a guy, we can go to his kiosk and see if he have the tickets. Well, I can go to his kiosk and see if he has tickets. And he like getting up and getting ready to go, and she like, okay, I'm coming with you. And he like, coming with me, like this is my job, I could just get the tickets and deliver it to you. And she like, no, I'm coming, I'm gonna be here every step of the way. So they leave his office and they go to the guy's kiosk, but he's closed. And he's confused, like, dang, he's closed. Like, I didn't see that coming, but he doesn't have a number or nothing to reach the guy. So he ends up going to the inbox of the Pentatonix people, like the group, to ask them if they still had tickets to the concert. And so he's like telling them some of Layla's story or whatever, and and they they kind of take an interest in her story. Um and meanwhile, Layla is talking to this guy who tells her that he has tickets and he wants to meet her at this bar. And Teddy is telling her, like, that sounds sketchy. You can't trust this guy. I don't think you should meet him. But she's desperate, so she goes. But he goes with her. So they get to the bar. They meet the guy. They're talking about the tickets. And he, like, being friendly or whatever, telling her, her story touched him and all of these things. And Teddy just doesn't think that he's telling the truth or whatever. And so he tells Layla, he give him the $800 and he'll give her the tickets. And she like, what? You said five. Like, I only brought five with me. And she pulls out the $500 in cash. And Teddy's like, you could tell you're not from here. Because why is you walking around with this much money in your pocketbook? This is crazy. But the dude is like, I feel for you, so I chose you. Somebody else offered me 1,200, but since I feel for you and I like your story, I chose you to sell them to. So she takes off her necklace and gives it to him, and she's like, "This is worth $150." And so he like, "I'll take it." He takes the necklace and the money, sends her the ticket to her phone. She gets a notification and is excited. And he like walks away, he tells them bye and walks away. And then Teddy takes her phone out of her hand and looks at it, and he like, "These tickets from last year." And she tries to stop him from running. And Layla pulls out like pepper spray and she sprays it, but ends up getting in Teddy's eyes. And the man ends up getting away with her money and her necklace. Um, Teddy goes into the bathroom to wash his eyes out because, of course, the pepper spray. While Layla is sitting at the bar eating chips, like being sad that she just got scammed. Um, Teddy tells her that he is on the line with some people who might have some tickets, and he texts and he just waiting for them to respond back to him. So they finally respond back to him. So they give them an address to come to for the tickets, and so they both go to the address. When they get there, is this like big like condo, is really big in the inside or whatever. But the people that they meet inside are kind of weird. So the two of them are apprehensive about like dealing with them for real, for real. So the woman tells them that Teddy can go with her boyfriend or her partner to negotiate on the tickets. Layla come with her, and Layla instantly like follows her. She does hesitate for a little bit, but then she goes. And Teddy is like, Layla, like, don't follow her, whatever, whatever. She like, look, I'm desperate. I'm finna go. I gotta find these tickets. I don't know what else to do. They said that they got them. I'm going. So Layla goes with the lady and Teddy goes with the man to the patio. And the woman really is asking Layla to help her pick out a dress because Christmas, I think, is her and her partner's anniversary and they're celebrating. And so Layla helps her pick out this black dress, which is beautiful. While Teddy is talking to the lady's partner on the patio, which is crazy because it's snowing and it's cold out there, and he's afraid of heights. So like he tries not to go all the way to the edge where the guy is or whatever. But basically the guy tells him that if he can get this purse for him, he will give him the ticket. Um so he goes back to Layla, and as they are leaving, the lady gives Layla a dress. She puts it in a bag and gives it to her. So first she's like, I can't take it, and the lady is like, no, I insist. And then before they leave, they kind of stop Layla while Teddy is walking ahead, and it's like, that Teddy is quite sweet or whatever, something like that. Like basically trying to give her like the I understand that you're trying to meet this mystery man at the concert, but Teddy though, like are you paying attention to Teddy? Like he's handsome, he's sweet, and she's like, okay, like what y'all want me to do about it? And so they leave and they go to this store to get the purse, and everybody wants up this purse. It must be like one of those like he they said that that the guy already paid for it, they just had to pick it up. So if that's the case, then it's his purse, right? So the name of the purse also is the sugar plum, right? So this lady is in the store being rude to one of the girls that work there, and Teddy steps in and like puts her in her place or whatever. The girl appreciates it, but she also like is being touchy feely with him, and Layla is watching their interaction and like smiling. And Teddy comes back over to her and tell her, you know, uh Teddy comes back over to her, and she's like she did you not realize that she was flirting with you? She was giving you those eyes. She was touching you. He like a girl like her that works in the Chanel store is not giving me a chance. Like, what are you talking about? And she like, what are you? She like, sometimes some women, even though they might be out of your league, they want you to give them that look and tell them that, I know you out of my league, but I still had to shoot my shot. And so he goes back over there and talks to the girl after she kind of pushes him to do it. But he doesn't really like talk like flirt with her or nothing like that. He goes to talk to her about the purse some more. She tells him that there's only one purse left and that she was going to give it to them. While he's talking to her, Layla, this man drops his phone. Layla picks it up and give it to him. And as she gives it to him, he starts giving her this sob story. This little boy, his son and him are giving her this sob story about how his mom is dying and she really wants the purse, and like he wants to give her everything he can while she's here. My whole thing is, if she dying, why she need a purse? Why you giving this lady about to die? She ain't What she gonna do with this purse? Was she just want to look at it before she die? Like, what's she gonna do with it? Is she gonna even be able to wear it? The way that they were talking? She sound like she bed bound. What's she doing with a purse? Why y'all coming about her a purse? Let that lady die. Purse for what? What is that gonna change? She ain't even gonna be able to use it. But anyways, they play on Layla hard, which I pretty much feel like they were scamming her. And so when the girl comes to hand them the bag with the purse, Layla is like, I can't take it. She tells Teddy she can't take it. Somebody deserves it more than her. She like, this guy over there with her son. And then Teddy is like, bro, you literally need this ticket and I need my job. What are you talking about? I don't deserve it, whatever, whatever. And so the girl was like, this isn't the sugar plum. These are just gloves. Like, there's the sugar plums are sold out. The only one we got is a display. So then the crowd hears it, starts fighting over it. Um, they don't take the bag that the girl was giving them, and they just leave the store without it. It annoyed me. And so it goes to the Pentatonix people, like the group or whatever, because I forgot to mention that they are like invested in Layla's story. And Teddy's been texting them and like telling them Layla's story, and they're invested in it. But like the way that he's talking about her, like he told them that like she was willing to give up the purse to somebody else, because the man's wife is dying, whatever. And they like, hold up, is does Teddy have a crush on Layla type of vibe? So like they're literally reading their text messages, like following their story while they're trying to find tickets to their concert. You could literally just be like, you know what, y'all can just come to the concert and we gonna let y'all in. But no, they're sending them on this scavenger hunt before they can get tickets, which is crazy to me. But at the same time, it's necessary for Layla to get to her true uh what she called it? Her person, basically, which I feel is Teddy. I felt like it was Teddy anyway because he was the first guy that she met. She bumped into him. She just don't remember bumping into him. She remembers that other guy because the interaction was a lot longer and they like learned stuff about each other. But with Teddy, it was like just a brief interaction. Okay, so since they're like running out of like people to contact for tickets, Layla is starting to feel like it's not gonna happen for her. So she kind of giving up on it. But Teddy sees they're walking down the street and he sees like these flight attendants and he's like, look at these random flight attendants. This has to be a sign. Like you can't give up. And she like, yeah, like maybe you right, whatever. And she was telling him like maybe not the flight attendant thing, but maybe we need to think more like how you're thinking. And so like they get on this carriage ride to I forgot what she said where they were going. He was like, "Where are we going?" And she like, I don't know. I can't remember what she said they were going, but they rode the carriage there. And then he admits that he's also a fan of Pentatonix, and they discovered that they have the same favorite song by them in common. So they like start he start playing a video and then they like start doing like the pat thing. I don't know what you call it, junk. The little dance moves or whatever they were doing. And she ends up hitting him or whatever. And I guess the sleigh ride was kind of for the spirit type thing. I can't remember if they actually went where they were going, but I remember him saying that his cousin called and said that he had tickets. No, they end up at her house. They end up at her house. Um, her friend is over there. Teddy ends up cooking them something. While they're trying to figure out um how to get the tickets, because when they was on the sleigh, she was talking to her friend and she's telling her like, we not giving up. Like Teddy got the right idea. We not giving up. I'm gonna do everything on my end. You continue to do everything on your end. And they end up at their house, and that's when Teddy cooked them the food. They ate his food and realized how great of a cook he was. And then they started talking, and he was like, he used to work at this restaurant called, I think, Alia or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And they're like, oh, we ate that before. Like last year we had sea bass, and he like, either not last year, a couple of months ago, and he was like, oh, I was still working there back then, but like I came here because my mom got sick. He's like, so I think I was the one who cooked y'all the sea bass, and like they're realizing, at least Layla is like, is that a coincidence or like fate type of thing? Because she believes in fate. He doesn't. But um he said his mom got sick, so he ended up having to move here and taking care of her. And chef jobs are not flexible, so he ended up having to be the concierge. And they're telling him like, you should open your own restaurant. And he like, I can't open a restaurant, whatever. No, they're telling him like you shouldn't give up on cooking or whatever, and he gets a call. That's when he get the call from his cousin telling him that he had 2 tickets. So Layla and him go to his mom's house. When they get there, the cousin opens the door and he's like, where are the tickets? They like, and he like, I don't actually have them, but I have a way for y'all to win them. And the mom hears them and she tells him to come help her finish the creme brulee so she could do her gifts or whatever for whatever something she was doing, and that the cousin could be up to his schemes later. And he like, schemes, like, why, what schemes? And so the cousin is like, okay, well, I don't have the tickets, but I have a way that y'all can win 2 tickets. There's this, like, what did they call it, the snowball, if I'm not mistaken, where like the ballroom where a lot of the people from the LGBTQ plus community, they get together, they do performances and stuff like that. That he was gonna teach the two of them choreography and a song so they could try to win the tickets. So they start practicing the routine and stuff like that. And like they're, getting close to stuff, and like you could tell that he likes her, but he's trying to like fight his feelings for her. Um, so you know, they practiced for a little while. Then they took a break, and he makes the creme brulee for his mom, and then he takes out the little things that he bought last Christmas, and she sees it, and she's like, I know where I remember you from, the airport, uh some store in the airport store, whatever. You dropped one of these in my pocketbook, and he like, I knew I could never forget a face. And then now she's looking like, dang, that's another coincidence. Like that's another something else, that another way that we connected. And she's telling him like, they get back on the cooking the creme brulee, and she's a disaster in the kitchen, and he's like, no, it ain't. Nobody's a disaster in the kitchen. And she like, no, I can't cook. And he like, well, I'll teach you. So, he put the apron on her and started teaching her how to cook and stuff. And like they're bonding during this time. She's remembering all of these things, like all of these coincidences keep happening between the two of them. And it's making her like rethink things. But at the same time, she's trying to stay on task because neither one of them are talking about how they actually feel about each other for real. They're just like thinking it, not saying it out loud. You could just tell by the expressions on their face. But after they cook it, the creme brulee, she ends up falling asleep. The he's standing over her just watching her sleep, and the cousin is like, what you waiting for, wake her up, we still gotta practice. And he like, I know, but don't she look so peaceful sleeping, whatever. And he like, yeah, but y'all need to win. And he wakes her up, and then they start practicing again. Then it goes to them being at the snowball, and they're watching these people perform, and they're like amazing, so they're nervous, like, how can we compete with this, like they're really good. um and then it's time for them to perform, and they put on a pretty good performance. It's decent. It's not top tier, but they end up kissing, like getting caught up in a moment and kissing, not like even thinking about it, like just naturally going with the vibes. And the crowd is going crazy. Then they get off stage, and like they kind of like are trying to talk about the kids, but the cousin and Layla's friend come and was like, oh my god, that kiss really sold it, like y'all really sold it. Like he like, y'all didn't really follow my routines, and I'll be mad at that later, but that kiss sold it, and y'all had sass and sparkle as well. And they're like, yeah, we sold it. But really, they didn't do that on purpose, it just happened. And so now they're about to announce the winners, and the three runner up is this girl named Priyanka, this like these two people, I can't remember their names, and then them, and and like they're shocked that they're in the top three. And so they go on stage, and then the announcer announces the two it was a pair of people. I don't want to misgender them, so I'm not gonna say a gender. Two people were third place. Um uh Layla and Teddy are second place, and Priyanka is first. Rightfully so, because Priyanka's performance was amazing. They weren't beating her. It would have been a lie if they did. So, they still feeling awkward. They honestly don't even really care about the competition no more, the tickets no more, because they're so caught up in the fact that that kiss felt like it gave them all the feels, and like they're just like in shock still. So, they get their little award or whatever, go backstage, and um the cousin tells them that, okay, it goes to um the Pentatonix people, and they're like looking at the video of the performance or whatever, and they're seeing the vibes, they're seeing the kiss, and they seeing like, oh my god, like they're falling for each other. And so now they're confused about whether they want to give them a ticket or not, but at the same time they don't have a ticket to give them. It's sold out. They're just sending these, they're just so invested that they're like sending them on this rat race even though they don't got these tickets to give them. But then their manager comes in and she's like, y'all do got a ticket. And they're like, what? She like, yeah, I put it in the email, whatever, my email this morning. And they're like, oh yeah, the email, but none of them actually read it. So they're like going back and forth about like whether they're going to give them the ticket. They're talking about like, no, some of them believe that they should, because they want Layla to meet her person. Some of them were like, but what about Teddy? Like he really seems to like Layla. What about him? And then one of the group members is like, it's not up to us, it's up to Layla. So we got to give her this ticket so she could decide for herself. So they message Teddy that they got the ticket. And so the cousin, while they're backstage, is like, oh my God, y'all got a ticket. Like, you just got the message that you got a ticket. And they're like, what? And then he's like, you got a ticket. Like, we gotta go. And he like, well, they're both looking at each other. They're still in shock. Like, wait, but we gotta talk. We got something to talk about or whatever. And the cousin is like, forget what y'all gotta talk about. Like, y'all got a ticket. She gotta meet the love of her life. He tells Layla's friend, go get her ready. And Teddy, I'm gonna go get you ready. And he like, for what? Like, I don't gotta go to the little concert or whatever. And he like, yes, you do, because they don't have a Santa, so they want you to play Santa. And he like, I ain't see that in the message. And the cousin is like, forget all about that. Let's go get ready. So Layla goes with her friend to get ready, and Teddy goes with his cousin. They're both still in shock. Like, I like the ticket, yeah, but like that kiss though, like, what are we gonna do about that kiss? And now Layla is like second guessing things, and Teddy is caught up in his feelings for her, and I'm interested to see how it ends. So while Layla is getting ready to go to the concert, a request comes in for her to do the survey for Teddy. So that becomes a priority to her, but her friend tells her, okay, I will answer the questions. You get ready. So, she's sitting there doing her makeup or whatever. Her friend is like reading out loud, going through the questions. And she's really just like doting on him, like, oh, he's such an amazing person. He's compassionate. He's this, he's that, whatever, whatever. And the friend is like, this is a yes or no question. Like, I'm not putting that. It's unnecessary to put that, bro. It's just yes or no. And like, she just keeps going on and on about him. And the friend is like, and then she realizes, oh my God, I'm in love. Like, I've fallen for Teddy. And the friend is like, no duh. And then she's like, but what about James? And she like, I mean, James was cute. He was cute. Like, it was cute, the whole gesture and everything, but I know Teddy better and I love him and I want to tell him that. And so the friend's like, okay, cool. Well, I support whatever you want to do. She gets ready to go. And she's like, do you think I'm crazy? And she's like, absolutely. Like, you're absolutely crazy, but you're crazy in love. Go get your man. So she leaves and she goes, gets in a cab to go to the concert or whatever. While Teddy arrives at the concert, he ends up going backstage and trying to like get in, but the security is like, "You're not allowed back here." But then the manager hears him, and she comes to the door and she's like, "Oh, he's with me." And she basically tells him like she ushers him in there and like he's seeing all the Pentatonix people and he's like naming their names and being excited because he's a fan that they're there and like they come over to talk to him and they're like and first the manager was like, I don't really know what they got planned. All I know is they want to see you. And so like when he's talking to them, they like, we gotta come clean. This is not about you playing Santa. We already have a guy to play Santa. We just want you to be here because we want to ask you a question. And they're like, do you like Layla? And he's like, I mean, and then it goes to Layla being stuck in traffic. So she gets out of the car and she starts running toward the concert. And then you see James like waiting in front of the concert for someone. He has flowers and then he starts to get impatient and he like walks away as Layla is running up. Instead of going in the front part, she goes backstage and tries to get backstage. But of course the bouncer won't let her. And she shows her the ticket like, I got this ticket. I'm supposed to be here, whatever, whatever. Let me. And he like, yeah, your ticket is legit, but it's not a backstage pass. You can't come. Then it goes to them talking to Teddy. No, them getting Teddy ready for his big moment or whatever. He tells the manager, like, I gotta do this. She likes grand gestures, so I gotta make a grand gesture. And so they dressing him up in this suit and then they put a Santa Claus costume over it and they tell him, they running through what he has to do. Basically, all Santa Claus got to do is come through the chimney, slide down, and say ho ho ho. That's all you got to do, okay? But to get on the chimney, he has to go up this thing, this high thing, and he's afraid of heights. So he's freaking out, whatever, whatever. The manager is trying to coach him. It goes back to Layla trying to get in. She's trying everything she can to convince. Hold up. First, she ends up going into like the lounge area of the concert, the front part of it, and ends up bumping into James. And she sees James and she's like, "Oh my god, James." And she's like going on and on to him about like, "I know we were supposed to meet here, but I'm in love with somebody else. I'm sorry to tell you this or whatever." And he's just sitting there looking at her like, like, what are you talking about? And so this is when she runs backstage and she's trying to convince the security guard to let her through, but he won't. Um, and then the lady who James was actually waiting for showed up. And they go inside the concert. But Layla is backstage trying to convince the not backstage, but outside of the backstage door, still trying to convince the security to let her come in, but he doesn't let her come in. At then it goes to Teddy finally getting on the thing and then coming down and saying the ho ho ho, and he's talking, and she hears him and she's like, "Do you hear that? Like, I'm Layla. I'm who he's talking about, whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe." She like, "What you need? Like, driver's license? You need what? My credit card, whatever." He's basically like, "No, I need you to go to the front where you're supposed to be. You're not getting backstage." And he's like, "Man, it's Christmas." Like, she's like, "It's Christmas, man. Have a heart." He's like, I understand. I love stories, but I I have a boss that I have to report to. I can't let you backstage. And she's like, but he's talking to me. And he's like, well, you better run. And she starts running to go to the front. And Teddy is on the stage in his speech, and he's like, I know you're here to meet somebody else, but I am in love with you, whatever, and I need you to come up or whatever. Like, if you basically, if you feel the same way, I want you to come up. But she doesn't come up when he says it, so he thinks that she's not coming. So he's about to like turn around and walk away, but she busts through the door and she's like, Teddy, I heard everything you say and I feel the same way too. So he jumps off the stage and he goes to meet her, and they're like telling each other how they feel or whatever, and it's so sweet. And he was like, I guess that kiss did mean something. And she said, I guess so. And the Pentatonix people are like, we did not do all of this for I guess so. Y'all are gonna have to do better than that. So they kiss. Um and it ends with them, well, they kiss and then they are invited on stage. The Pentatonix sang another song, and Layla and Teddy kiss again. And then it shows James in the audience with his girlfriend, and he's like, babe, that's the girl from the airport. And he's like, this is so beautiful, and he's like clapping at them or whatever. So he obviously remembers her, but he ends up having a girlfriend, but before it was time to meet. But he ends up just going to the concert anyway, I'm guessing because his girlfriend is also a fan, and they just go. But she thinks he's there for her, but he really isn't. He's there with another woman. But like it goes off with the two of them kissing. It was a beautiful Christmas story. Y'all know I don't really like Christmas movies. They be cheesy. It's the same storyline. So I like when they switch it up a little bit and it's not just about Christmas or whatever, like this cheesy thing that you got to do for Christmas. It's not that. It's I like that this is just like a coincidental romance that just so happens to take place around Christmas, but it's not really about Christmas. So I really like it. I told y'all that I was gonna stop doing the star scale or the number scale. So I'm not gonna give it a number or on that scale or whatever, but I really think that it is a good Christmas movie. And if you like Christmas movie, I definitely think you should check it out. I was trying to find Christmas movie with black actors in it, not just exclusively, but I wanted to have a good bit with them because there's so many Christmas movies with white actors, but you don't really see a whole lot with black ones. I was able to find some. All of my Christmas reviews are not going to be on romance movies. It's going to be just a few of them, maybe like one or two that isn't romance, and that's fine. Like, you know, I'm also thinking about doing my favorite Christmas movies, and of course, they're not going to be romance Christmas movies, which is why I think that's what's going to be my 5 series for next week. My top 5 romance Christmas movies. But let me thank y'all for watching this review. Let me know what y'all think about this movie if y'all watched it. And if y'all didn't watch it, y'all definitely should. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. Before you go, check out my website at srgraham.org and subscribe to my mailing list to get exclusive updates on works in progress, other news, and blog posts. Thank you.